The interview of Engineer Bob Alfa for the NNSL Online Archive Project.
What is your name, sir? Complete.
Just Bob Alfa, B-O-B-A-L-F-A.
Okay.
Simple.
And where did you start work in NNSL?
Where or when?
Where you started? Where?
In Lagos here, on a ship as a junior engineer.
Okay. What year was that?
1971. I graduated from ABU in 1970 as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
So I joined NNSL 71 as a marine engineer trainee.
Yeah.
So they now sent me to Liverpool, where I did maintenance of ships and then shipbuilding and all that for 2 years before I now came out.
Now, what can you say are the high points of your career in NNSL?
Well, the high points, of course. When I went through the ranks rapidly, because see a superior academic background,
yeah.
Most of the officers, they're coming, even in England, they're coming with school cert.
I see.
Some with higher school cert. I came with a degree. So they had the accelerated promotion and progress and so on. So when I became chief engineer, barely 7.5 months, it was a great thing because people used to spend 12 years. So, and then I was sent to Yugoslavia where I was opportuned to sail River Majidu, one of the brand new ships coming out of there as the chief engineer, the first chief engineer. It was a high point for me. But I would say the greatest event was becoming the MP.
Yes.
Even when I was appointed manager of Liverpool, it was good and so on. But becoming the MD of NNSL, it was good. Although, if men were brought, if I knew what was coming,
yes,
I walked away. Yes.
I had now. How many voyages did you sail? Can you remember that? Over how many years?
My CV is very comprehensive. I promise you I'll fax it.
Okay.
Yes.
All the things are there.
All the junior engineer, fourth engineer, third engineer, second engineer, chief engineer, in detail, and the ships, and when I left, they're all there, very detailed.
So this must have given you an insight into problems like this crew trading. Like, this gbagbati, crew trading.
Yeah, sure.
So as a chief engineer,
I was involved in it. There's no sailor that wasn't doing gbagbati. We were all doing gbagbati now. Like when I was third engineer, fourth engineer, when you are second, the second engineer is classed as senior post. Okay. You don't want to deal with it. But down the junior ones, second half ridges, tires, and all sorts of things. That is why you see seamen super rich. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
Because you see, we are well paid. Then at the same time, when you use that money to buy trade goods, yeah, and you bring it to Nigeria, you still sell them at a higher premium. Yeah. So you change that money back to foreign exchange. Many of us maintain accounts all over the world, anywhere our ship went. So some used the money very well, some squandered it, and so on and so forth. But
it had an adverse effect on NNSL, do you think?
On NNSL?
Yes.
No, not at all, because you see, the gbagbati trade, they were not putting them in cargo space.
Okay.
They were putting them either on deck or in their own cabins.
Okay.
When we do inspection, we see, you can see a sailor sleeping on a chair like this. His bed, which is the place of, he put some choice gbagbati there,
okay,
so that he preserve them.
Okay.
But not to the detriment of NNSL trade. No.
Now, people are saying, for example, that when you come to NNSL, you see them offloading tires and all that, it made an impression on importers, exporters. They don't want to patronize NNSL because the crew is distracted.
No, I won't buy that at all.
Yeah.
No. See, how much gbagbati are we talking about? Somebody who has 4 or 5 fridges.
Yes.
How will that affect cargo operation? In no time, the negotiations are done, and they carry these things down the ground. They don't even use cargo gear.
Okay.
So this personal pure, this is it. Even as MD of NNSL, because I have gone through the line as a professional, I know that these things, they are not in any way, clashing with ship's operation and fortunes.
Okay.
Not at all. I disagree with that any day.
Okay. Now, but on a ship, on a Air Dempster, for example, on Air Dempster ships, you don't find such things.
Yes, that's true. Because the officers and most of the personnel, they are foreigners.
Yeah.
They don't, how will you think, say, Oibo Fort engineer will buy tire, second tire, you don't want to sell it in Lagos. Carry him away, apart from that, it's not their culture.
It's not their culture, because they won't buy anything anywhere to take back to England.
No.
So the poverty really could be traced to a poverty syndrome.
That's all, poverty. Because
it's a poverty syndrome. Try to alleviate poverty back home.
You agree with me that any Nigerian or any African in employment, you feed at least 10 people.
Yeah.
Well, it was not like that.
Yeah, that was correct. All right, so the number of your trips and things like that, you will get them to me.
Yes.
How many stops on the way from origin to destination? Which kind of destinations did you serve? That is
many places. So mostly Europe, but Far East, Brazil,
yes,
Russia.
Yes. Was it true that vessels could be sent to such far distances on ballast without any cargoes?
Yes, if there's choice cargo to be loaded, say for instance, in Angola, and you have nothing to carry there.
Yeah.
If you know how much you are earning, the cost of operation to Angola and back, by the time you compute and know that there's profit in it, you go there.
Okay.
And going there, in order for the ship to be stable, you carry ballast for stability.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's justifiable.
It's justifiable.
In some cases. Okay. How would you describe the typical trip from preparation, embarkation, feeding, welfare, and working conditions?
It was good. As I would say, it was good. You see, the Nigerian professionals at sea, they were very good. You see, the ship is a place where you cannot tolerate indolence. You cannot hide your incompetence.
Okay.
It's not a place where you carry files.
Yes.
It's order. So, and if you are on duty, if you are not competent, it shows. So, everybody must, of course, look up to their responsibility because you are in charge of so many millions dollars worth of ship.
Yeah.
Men, machinery, cargo. They incorporate this into you. At the training stage.
Okay.
So when you're at sea, you know that you don't joke. Even when I talk of sailors drinking and all that, never at sea. No, because you can imagine somebody strapping a marine vessel as a result of being drunk. It's not feasible.
They were disciplined.
So to me, the ship personnel, operation of the ship from A to B is first class. Where I think the problem is in running the company is in the office. It's in the office. They plan the trip. They're bringing on board what the sellers consume. Where that in terms of fuel, in terms of food, in terms of ritual, everything.
Yeah.
But once a vessel is certified for sailing, apart from unforeseen marine peril, that's no problem. Everybody is up to the task. I will I will give them a 7 marks.
Okay. Now, when there were some things like when the crew wages began to be delayed, and and then even the things that happened about the sinking of River Gurara. You were, of course, in service at this time.
Yes, I was in service.
Yes. Did you know what happened to River Gurara? Why he had to have that fate? Was it through the vessel had lubricant problem?
The case of Gurara, I think we had problem of fuel leakage, and I think it was Las Palmas.
Las Palmas.
Yes. Las Palmas authorities were not happy with it because it would pollute their coastline.
Okay.
So they towed the vessel out and blasted it. It was a case of deliberate sinking.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought they said a gale force wind.
No, that was in Portugal. There was a gale force wind in Portugal.
Okay, they were in Portugal.
Yes, I forgot the name of that.
So that was Gurara now. You may be talking about the other ship. There was another ship that was. The case of Gurara was the one where all these sailors died.
Yes. Okay.
Where all where all the sailors died and they had to be brought home and.
Yeah, that was in
1989.
Portugal.
That was Portugal. Okay.
Then Josefa was already in charge of the law office.
I see.
I was in UKWAL.
I see.
And because it concerned issues of technical matter and all that. So,
yes.
Eventually I was called upon to come and testify as per the ship's preparation. Like was it properly stocked fuel-wise, whatever, before leaving Port Harcourt for Lagos and then for the, because it was under UKWAL trade, so I had the records of supplies, which I gave at the tribunal in Liverpool.
I see.
But I wasn't involved in the crewing and exactly what happened in Las Palmas. It was Josefa that went there. That was all Josefa's baby. So I can't talk authoritatively about that.
Okay, so it was an UKWAL vessel actually.
Yes.
That River Gurara was an UKWAL vessel.
It was NNSL vessel trading under UKWAL.
Trading under UKWAL. So UKWAL should have it was there. They are supposed to have the full mastery of what happened there. Okay. Then the crew wages we are talking about. Why were crew wages delayed? Because sometimes we heard that if they reach Liverpool, they ask for money. They will say they wait until you reach.
This is I'm telling you about indebtedness. The company being so heavily indebted all around. When money is spent, by the time you pay for fuel supply to sail from A to B, you pay for food, you pay for the repair, for the handling of the vessel, then the money left for wages and whatever, it's never enough. So when it's not that the crew were not really paid, but they were paid
late.
They were paid late. And of course, you know how it is. They will go to ITF. And because those people, their culture is never to delay wages.
Of course.
When you come and report such things, they will back them and put the ship under lock and key. That also hampered our operation a lot. But you can't always blame the crew because a laborer deserves
his wages. How do you rate the performance of Colonel Guadagbe?
It was good. It was very good. In fact, it was one of the best. I think it was the best MD we had. A soldier, not being a seaman. not being a seaman. You know what I mean? He had no knowledge of shipping, but coming in there, because of the discipline and training, he grabbed everything in no time. It was, to me, it was the best. He made things happen. When he needed anything, he had access to power.
Yes. That could have helped me a lot because he was a military man.
Yes, and then closely followed by Chidi.
Yes.
Chidi was very good.
This Prime Minister of Transport, how do you rate their supervisory role in running NNSL?
Ministry of Transport. They don't really come in unless there's crisis. It's only when we had, in my own time.
Yes.
Like I said, my time was crisis
Reading.
And so I had to run to them part time. So their supervision was sometimes meddling and sometimes palliative. So you know, I'll say again that they are not professional seafarers. So in the end, their role sometimes is not too definite. You know, because they are not they are regulatory kind of.
For example, how they maneuver the winding down of Niger Line. Were you already in the UK by this time?
Okay, Niger Line in UK.
Niger Line UK.
No, I was a young officer on the ship. I don't know about it.
When that one happened. Then, now there was this case that if you take an NNSL vessel to a dockyard and take a Black Star Line ship to a dockyard, the Black Star Line ship will come with 1/4 of the bill the NNSL vessel will have. Did you hear about something like this?
Well, maybe not 1/4, but less. So I don't know about.
But definitely less.
Definitely less.
Why was this the case?
Do
you think it was corruption?
It's corruption, of course, corruption. That I told you an example where I was helpless.
Like that foul mouth, the one you talk about the foul mouth.
The negotiation, they are not done by the personnel supervising the dry docking. It's done by the head office. So they just throw the bill at you and say this is signed, because on the daily basis, any item that is done, they bring you the cheated to sign that it's been done, it's been done, it's been done. But when it now comes to computing the figure for payment and so on and so on, you don't have access to it. In this case, at UKWAL, I had access by accident. When I saw it, that if I had brought it to me, it's unusual for a superintendent to sign, you know, the paper of bill indebtedness to the shipyard. I've never done it before. I said, what is this? What did you do here? You know, that's how I got to know that it's been done by the office and the shipyard concern. You know, it's not the case with Black Star.
So the people at the office could pad it, and there is nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it. You have no power. UKWAL, as you know, was a trade, you know, kind of conglomerate.
Yeah.
You have all these various shipping companies. They were mainly in charge of shipping, cargo and so.
Yeah.
But our office was operating like a mini head office, in charge of repairs, you know, in fact running a shipping company, not just cargo. Talking in terms of cargo that came under line, let's say, you know, that then start blah blah, they went to UKWAL. But then at the same time, we were able to, you know, work shipping that fell outside UKWAL.
I see.
You know, so we had people who were in charge of cargo too in our areas there. So because it's not every ship that sailed into UK that traded on UKWA. So we handled the subsidies.
Oh, you handled, okay.
And then my office too was looking after Brazil.
Okay.
It was looking after London.
Okay.
It was looking after Europe. That is, we had a mini office in Germany.
Okay.
And lately in Singapore.
I see.
So my office became like overseas operational office for NNSL. That's how it was. Before, in fact, later, one captain was
yeah,
from West, who was my senior, miles my senior. If I was a captain the time I joined it, he was brought in as head of NNSL. So I was moved across to UKWA. So I was in UKWA, for a while. Because there again, curiously, the UKWA people decided to be repairing and virtually ships that traded under them, no longer NNSL.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. The man then, one for Gregory, I tried to get into the bottom of it, but it was like a trade secret. They kept it to themselves. I was dancing to some powers in Lagos. For whatever reason, they were
Who was the MD there?
Uguna. Even the dry docking of ships.
Yes.
Dry docking, is when a whole ship as a whole is driven to some repair facilities.
Okay.
Then water is pumped out of from that dock.
Okay.
So you can access the bottom of the ship.
Okay.
Clean the whole hull, do a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
So that was the business of the technical department of NNSL.
Okay.
But when Uguna came, he gave the whole powers to UKWA. I had to even dry dock 2 ships under UKWA, because then I had shifted to that place. Against my wish, my desire, but I had to do it because it was my job.
Under UKWA,
Under UKWA.
Now, was it because the cost of doing it in NNSL was higher than UKWA? Was UKWA getting a lower rate?
No.
A lower overall rate?
No, not at all. I think it was because they wanted everything in their basket, and maybe because there was nobody with the willpower to say no to that arrangement, like I told you earlier.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the cost of dry docking that ship then was almost 3 times what we used to pay at NNSL to dry dock that ship.
Under UKWA?
Under UKWA.
Do you still remember the name of the ship?
Okay. I'll have to refer to the archives.
What year was it?
Probably it was my final year there. That must have been 1990.
1990. Okay.
1990. Because I returned that year, December or November 1990 to Nigeria.
Okay, to Nigeria.
But when they presented the bill, I objected to Uguna that the bill was too much. There are certain things better not said in print.
Yes.
He just told me to go ahead and get our ship out of the place because he was becoming frightened. The ship was staying there too long. Longer than necessary because of the negotiation concerning the payment. I vetted whatever figure they brought and I thought this was what it should be.
Yeah.
But
what was the shipyard that did the job?
Falmouth.
Falmouth?
Yes,
Falmouth.
Falmouth.
So Falmouth was not the traditional, dockyard.
That was the first time
You are using?
We dried up our ship there. So maybe they had a greater power of conviction for Lagos. Actually, if I had another job then, or if I was not so really livered, maybe I could have left and gone to somewhere else. But because they were dealing directly with Lagos, even though I was there.
When you say they, who do you mean by?
I mean, farmer managers.
Yes.
They were dealing directly with.
Yeah, but in OQUAL, what was your role in OQUAL?
I was a technical personnel.
Like, let's say technical manager.
Technical manager.
Under OQUAL.
Yes, I was the main engineer under OQUAL for NNSL.
Okay.
We had a boss called Harry Beatty. He was from Dempster.
Okay.
The man that was taking orders from me, when they were doing our own jobs on our ship, when they decided to set up this technical unit under OQUAL, he was drafted to be the manager.
Okay.
So there was another man called Bob Jones.
Okay.
They were the two main technical people there. Then Captain Ogisi, a navigator,
yeah.
a ship's master mariner.
Yeah.
Okay. A nice guy. I mean, respectable. He was the one who represented NNSL.
Yes.
Under Ogisi.
Okay.
Okay. And I remember, I think there was somebody else who was of a lesser, status
than yourself.
Than myself. But in terms of maintenance, because I had sailed as chief engineer several years, I knew everything back to front about shipbuilding, ship repairs, and so on. So easily the job of dry docking the vessel fell in my laps.
Okay.
So that's why I was sent to farmer. But then I was reporting the situation to Ogisi.
So Captain Ogisi didn't share your views about the...
He was. I mean, he was like this, because I think he was also careful.
Okay. You were very careful for the job.
But I mean, a fine young man, no nonsense. When he saw anything wrong, he would say it.
Yeah.
So that's...
But in this case, he just decided, not to stand in front of a moving train.
That's right. So that's how...
I see. Was OQUAL insisting on repairing this, maybe because they were earning the money?
I think they were trying to maximize their profit. Instead of paying another company to do their job, they were trying to keep everything
in-house.
In-house.
So they had association with Farmouth.
With Farmouth.
Oh,
that's it.
I see.
So he was just like that.
So what was the relationship between OQUAL and NNSL really?
See, like I said, OQUAL is a setup for cargo.
Good.
United Kingdom, West Africa line.
Yes.
So all the member shipping lines were pulling their cargo resources. How the commercial working was, I can't talk exactly on that.
Okay.
But there was a commercial, benefit for the member
shipping
lines. I believe when NNSL carries cargo, some percentage goes to NNSL. Then some other percentage probably goes for other companies within the organization. So NNSL was only one company in the
group.
That's how it was. And I know that we and Black Star Line, because the Depsa had no ship going. I can't even think of any other shipping line apart from NNSL and Black Star Line. And Black Star Line, then they had only 2 ships, and
in the group. But they have other ships.
Yes.
Okay, but in the group they have only 2 ships.
They had only 2 ships.
And then they have 4.
We had 4.
Okay.
So the traffic into the UKWAL business was higher for NNSL than Black Star. So me and Ben also, want to say, well, you're my half brother because you're only operating half. So, but I think we were the main driving factor for UKWAL then.
Yes.
Honestly, I number one, you see, why I cannot really tell you much more is that number one, I was not happy in that group, doing the job I was doing.
Okay.
I was aggrieved with Uguna for taking my job and giving it to Captain Uguna, who was not an engineer.
Captain Uguna is a junior brother.
Sorry, please. Captain Uguna,
Admiral Uguna.
Admiral Uguna, I said I was unhappy with him for giving my job to Captain Osiefa.
Osiefa, okay.
Yes.
In UKWAL?
No, in NNSL. To run NNSL. I was running NNSL.
But you said Captain Osiefa had been there, was your senior?
At sea.
At sea?
Yes.
So, but how do you mean now that your job, you were supposed to be under him?
Okay. That was when we were sailing.
Okay.
Now, Uguna, sorry, I keep talking Uguna. Osiefa left sea long ago.
Okay.
Before I became a top shot in NNSL.
Okay.
So, for all practical purposes, he was not relevant to NNSL. He had retired. He's staying at home. He's just like somebody they dusted from somewhere and brought to head NNSL.
And it was Uguna that did it?
And it's Uguna that did it. When they were skimming this thing, somebody was telling me that he started paying visits to the office, like you sit with me, ask about the operation and all that. And of course, unsuspectingly, I told him everything that was there.
Of course.
So, when it became clear that he was coming in, so I became aggrieved. So, in other words, they couldn't spew me out because they were concerned that I know some big people in Nigeria.
Yeah.
The man that was there before Uguna, Colonel Warabi, okay, was the one that posted me to Liverpool. I was still living with him. Uguna knew, then he was governor of Niger State.
Okay.
So I knew I had people back home. But chief among them was Mr. Bezi.
Okay.
Mr. Bezi was director of administration.
Okay.
And he was a boss of them. Me and Bezi used to sleep on the same bed.
I see.
We finished from ABU the same year.
Okay.
Even that was a junior colleague. So me and Bezi had been very good. And they knew that Bezi was very powerful in Lagos. So all these things put together made them not to spew me out. Okay. Otherwise, they would have thrown me out, and then let Osiefa
take over.
But the later arrangement was what they did by shifting it to UKWAL.
I see. Okay, so that was the reason why you were shifted to UKWAL.
Yes.
So that Osiefa.
Yes, can run NNSL. So what I'm saying is that I didn't operate in UKWAL with interest.
I see.
So there are so many things I didn't know because I was not interested.
Yeah.
You see, I was always at loggerheads with them. When they did this, I said, it's not right. I was grieving, but there was nothing I could do. You see, so until Uguna for some reason, I can't remember now. I think he had a problem with Akre, and he was the minister.
Yeah.
And they moved him off. So Captain Motoshaw came in, to replace him somehow. Motoshaw never confirmed the MD, but he was given a job to run NNSL. It was at that time that I was deployed back to Lagos. So
Motoshaw deployed you back?
Yes.
Okay.
Deployed me back to
So he was sympathetic to your...
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No. He was my friend at sea too. But they deployed me back to Lagos to frustrate me out of the system. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. I was given a job, nondescript job, in the wharf. And even accommodation I was not given, and so on and so forth. So, I had to go to the then Pamsec or Digital Transport to tell him that I was being marginalized and so on. Somebody said Barda.
Barda?
Yes.
Said Barda.
He later became Governor of Katsina.
Okay. Civilian governor?
Yes.
I see.
So, he told me not to wait. I mean not to worry. He didn't explain to me why. Not long after that, Motoshaw was removed. And Chidi was made empty. So it was under Chidi and I got justice. Chidi now made me Director of Technical Services. And gave me accommodation in Apapa, Bathurst. And I was the heir apparent. He was the MD, I was the heir apparent. So, again, he was as good as gold.
Chidi?
Yes. A man that knew shipping back to front. It was under Chidi I got justice. And everything was going fine. I was understudying him. He used to take me to the ministry, to the then minister, Engineer Ige.
Yes, I know Ige.
And so I got to know about how the ministry was supervising NNSL through one Director of Maritime Services.
Okay.
Captain Adegbe, Dr. Adegbe, now a professor.
Okay.
At UNILAG. I was talking of Ige. I think when Ige left, they brought Adeoshu, got approval from Babangida to appoint me MD of NNSL.
Okay.
What went, honestly, I don't know. But there was a running battle between the ministry and Mr. Chidi. I don't know the details.
Okay.
So, just out of the blues, one afternoon we were just sitting in the office and they brought their letters appointing me and retiring Chidi.
When you were appointed, what was how did it make you feel? How did you,
Well, I was young and there were more senior managers in the system, or rather who had been removed before Chidi came. People like Adini, people like who again, Shoadi and all this,
Okay.
There were Ibia, there was Captain Ebon and all these people who were superintendents when I joined the company. They were still there. So, me stepping into that position as a young man, it was hard to believe at first. Yes. But eventually I got to see the reality of the situation and I settled down too. But it was a period of intense hardship financially. The ships were held all over the place because of indebtedness.
Okay.
So we applied for this subsidy or something, assistance from the government, which the bank approved, but the release of that money wasn't forthcoming. I understood the workings of government, then, that it's not just the approval
that matters.
I was practically sleeping in Abuja. Even my boys, they saw the strain. I had the most horrendous time, going to Europe to dialogue with the creditors, because most of our debts were in foreign exchange, because of services rendered to the ship out there. Mostly shipping. The relevance is really outside. So we're owing them a lot of money. And when Baba Tokwe came on the scene, in fact, we had to go to sit with the creditors, look at their papers, their books, made promises. When some money was released, pay 40% here, pay this there, pay that there. Some were arresting ships. So I never really had a good time running NNSL, like ships trading out on any money and all that. No. My time was terribly bad. So
the money you got, was it sufficient to have cleared all your debts and then, give you a new lease to begin trading?
No, it wasn't sufficient. That was why the government approved returnage. I think we had 13 or 19. I can't remember the number of ships. Maybe 13 at this time. So they approved 5 aging, limping vessels to be sold.
Okay.
So that we could use the money to purchase 2 modern ones.
Okay.
Because you see, part of the problem we had at NNSL was that the ships, 19 ships, were bought at the same time. And of course, you know that when you have similar products, they are aging at the same time. When something goes wrong with this, you can expect the other one because they are holding up from the same shipyard. So the problems beset us at the same time.
Okay.
So when they approved those 5 to be sold, those were those that we considered less functional.
Okay.
Yes. So we made the recommendation in name of the vessels to the government and they approved. So the ships were bought in excess of 18 million, 20, thereabout.
Total?
No, each.
Okay, each.
At that time.
But
this time, I'm talking of the selling of the Abacha government thought the ships were still worth around that amount of money. So when we advertised, people were jostling over themselves to buy. But we had to do the property by going to Lloyd Surveyor to give proper value to those ships. Number of them were 1 point something bigger. One this, one that. So they were frustrated. But as I'm talking to you today, I am still suffering the injustice of Abacha because the wife called me and said a business somebody was interested in one of those ships. I should assist, which I agreed. I gave all the papers, the process of bidding and all that. And I think she wanted me to go ahead and award it. I said no, that there are procedures in disposing government assets. And in the case of shipping, normally when you want to sell ships, they are advertised in world press.
I see.
Yes, because people in Singapore, people in Australia, they might be interested. It's not a local thing.
Okay.
Now, even if you want us to assist, let us follow due process.
Okay.
Which we did. A lot of things happened. Meanwhile, the then Adeosun had gone ahead to appoint brokers. When we advertised brokers, they had already appointed brokers and given them the mandate to sell off ships. So the whole thing became messy. And in order to explain to government that already, another problem was this. While this one was going on, Adeosun was removed, Babatope was brought in.
Yes.
So, Babatope was the man I said who sat to beg or plead with these creditors.
Yes. To give some time.
To give some time. So he traveled to London with me and some of my staff many times to play this role. He did it very well because some of them downed their tools.
Okay.
Yes. And so, but when this sale of vessel issue came, to be honest with you, I was not comfortable divulging to him what Madam was saying.
I see.
You see? So when eventually he got to know, I think he felt sorry for me. Because he knew I was being burdened. And he said, Bob, I heard Madam, this time the thing has started circulating.
Yeah.
You know, I heard that Madam is interested in this, and why didn't you talk? I said, well, now that you know, what do we do? You know? So he said, well, we have to find a way of solving this issue. We never got around to doing that until he was removed and General Gumel
was appointed.
Meanwhile, while all this was going on, in government cycle, Abacha and his, what have you, they had seen me as, I don't know, a disobedient, difficult somebody. So, when Gumel came to NNSL, he fired me in this soft cell, this tomorrow's news today or today's news tomorrow, you know, those. So the papers I watch everywhere, Alfa, a liar, Alfa, this. I said, my God, you know, if I knew I would have resigned when they're making use of me in this sale of ships, something like pushing me, you know, then the inexperience of this kind of bargaining, you know, started to show in my affairs. I was never exposed to intrigues. I always shot straight, whatever I want to do. I like to be honest, whatever I want to do, but that was it. So, Guma caused me to be arrested. And I knew where they were going. But in order to make the arrest stick, they said I mismanaged NNSL. I said, well, in this country, when people want to get you, they'll get you, even if you are a saint. So I did They investigated me. The military cleared me. I was not happy with that. And I set up another panel. So they had to go abroad to dig this, to dig that. I don't know what they found out. So
the center another panel too.
yes, under another Atukum.
Atukum, yes.
Yes. So I don't know what the recommendations of that was, but this time I was being held under Decree 2 in the DMI.
What does Decree 2 say?
Detention at the pleasure of government.
Okay.
Yes, you can't challenge it.
Yeah.
And no substance, nothing.
Yeah. Initially, what was the first arrest about? Did they tell you?
No, this is all, they didn't tell me. They just kept me under house arrest.
Okay.
Then later they moved me to DMI facilities.
Mm.
And then they took us to Geshua. I spent 3.5 years in detention.
Where is Geshua?
Geshua, Yobe State.
Okay.
The harshest prison in Nigeria.
Is that so?
Yes. There were only 2 notable Nigerians before me, MKO and then Ghani. Yes, that's all. So, I think it was what they think is perceived disobedience.
Yeah.
Perceived disobedience. And I thought I was doing what they should do, because if I had gone ahead to give the ship to them without talk of going through the process,
yes,
Obasanjo would have caused problem for me. Eventually, because you don't know what's happening tomorrow. When Obasanjo came and due process was being dug up, no. So I didn't win with them, and I knew I wouldn't have won with Obasanjo. So it was just a fate accomplished or whatever. So it was when Kumasi refused to extend the Decree 2 that say, well, what did I do with this man? So then I tried just to court. With fanfare, my family couldn't believe it. Also on national TV, someone that ruined the NNSL, myself and this Dr. Libeni and 3 other managers of NNSL.
Okay.
So there was the director or chief internal auditor, there was the director of finance, there was the man in charge of Europe who replaced me. So all of us were detained.
Who was the man in charge of Europe?
Musa.
Okay. Musa Shehu, okay.
So they arraigned us. And then we started going to, that was the first.
And then at the arraignment, what was the charge sheet? What did they say? What?
I can't remember, the 49.
There are 49. But what are the main things? Is it still about the ship?
No, this time they said we had stolen money.
Okay.
I think one was saying something like $350 million. Company was not worth.
No. I thought they said it was the money that was brought from Nimasa and NM at that time.
No. You see, the money that was brought from Nimasa was the one that, I said, Babatope and the rest of us went to Europe to
beg
judiciously share to them. There's no problem there. But in the case of Nimasa, we, at that time, when we were doing this return engine, there's a shipyard that Niger Dock introduced to us in Poland.
Okay. So
we now, through Ozobia, did a very good deal. The ministry organized it. Okay. So everything was being handled by the ministry. Okay. So that vessel, which I christened Resilience, was bought around 16 million instead of 20, because they had some massive reduction. Okay. Because of it was seen as an inroad for future purchases. So they sold it cheaply to us. And So the master, I can remember, was either to pay for it.
Yeah.
As a loan to NNSL. Something like that. I can't talk authoritatively now. What?
Every residence. Is it not the one that eventually became in Abuja?
Yes. I call it resilience.
Okay.
Saying, like a prophecy, that this company had been going through ups and downs.
Okay.
That this is a kind of resilient situation.
Okay.
So Mrs. Abacha was the one that launched it. She came to Poland, even with her children. I remember the doctor asking me what resilience meant. I was explaining to her. So that ship was launched. It was there that somebody muted to me that the plan even for me. So this
there in Poland.
Yes, this thing had already crystallized before the purchasing. All this Poland and all these kind of things, they had no basically the point of unhappiness or this issue of not getting the 5 ships.
Now, their plan was that you should help that company they nominated to buy those 5 ships.
Yes.
At whatever price the man put up.
Yes.
Who is the man? Who is the Nigerian face?
It wasn't really totally Nigerian. They call him Ben Mystery. He was married to Nigerian, but he's a Dutch half caste.
I see.
He was fronting for them. That was a link. The company name, I don't know. That there. Maybe when I get back to Lokoja, I can tell you the name of this company they use in PD.
Okay. Are they still in Nigeria? No.
No, the minister has left.
Okay.
When this trouble started, of course the threat.
Okay.
Even the brokers that Adeoshu brought were fraudulent. Oh God. Those people forged my signature.
The broker?
Yes. Mohammed Shafiq and Chris Bass. They were Americans, but American, one is Pakistani, one is Greek. Fraudulent, terrible people. I caused them to be arrested at SFU once. But you see, we have a problem in this country. They prefer to believe foreigners.
Than Nigerians. Yes.
They have to detain me there. That time, this man who is now the head of EFCC, Lamode. Lamode was one power officer then, in that place.
In SFU.
In SFU. And he was the one that, with one another, that actually clearly listened to me. So they were patient enough to listen to me. But their boss
was not.
Said I should be arrested. Until Baba Sako intervened, I would have slept in the cell there. It shows you the kind of, NNSL, I don't know where something went on, but it's not anything I can forget in a hurry. The time I enjoyed NNSL was when I was still a professional, running my ship. Everybody knew about me. Any ship I operated was efficient because I believed in working hard, my profession. But politics of running an office, I didn't know. And it is not anything you go to school for.
No.
I believe I was not,
caught out for it.
So that is it. But when we now went to court, they refused to give us bail. This time we moved to Ikoyi here. And this ding dong kept on for one judge one lady judge like that. It was Trade Bank time.
Yeah.
So when Abacha died, Gumel died. this man came on board, Absalom.
Yeah.
It was under Absalom that they gave us bail.
Okay.
So eventually we started going to court, until the High Court had judged these charges as incompetent. You know, no proof of evidence, no this, no that, it just...
Do you still have a copy of the charge sheet?
No.
Was there any communication with you?
What I have, the court proceedings.
Okay.
Yes, I have. The one, even where they discharged us.
Yeah.
But because the case was not tried, it's not acquittal.
I see.
Yeah, you see, the charges are incompetent.
Okay.
No, I mean, this one should not have been brought in the first place.
I see. Okay.
You see? So, as I'm speaking to you now, when I was in detention in Gashua,
yeah,
government issued a letter of dismissal to me and the others. Since I came out, I've been going to Abuja to have this dismissal converted to retirement.
I see.
I've not succeeded. This present minister even wrote to me about 6 months ago that they don't have power to vary what Abacha had done. So that letter of dismissal is still, and it is the issue that I'm fighting about.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Because, okay, in politics, I have tried to run for governorship of Kogi.
Yeah.
Because even those convicted after 8 years, you are allowed to run for office.
Of course.
Not talk of somebody who has not been convicted.
Exactly.
The court paper is there. Meanwhile, the money I saved when I was selling as chief engineer, about £27,000, they took it and gave it to the master. The master owned up to it. I have a copy of the letter from the master saying that they took that money on the advice of Gumer. So
what was Gumer's own point?
Gumer was just a hatchet for the advice.
Yeah.
Because one of the Navy lieutenants, one of the Army lieutenants at DMI told me, said, look, you are being kept here for stubbornness. Said, you, a lieutenant, Madam gave you instruction. You did not carry it, you went and gave it to you and reported it to Yoruba man. That's why I kept here, at their pressure. Not that you did anything wrong. He said, but they'll keep you here until they ruin you and your family. That day I was frightened. The next day, Omeka was going around and said to me, say, you are the stubborn one. You don't want to blame me. I said, I can shoot you now and claim. He said, I can shoot you in the back and claim you wanted to escape.
Okay. I think we have literally come to the end.
It's okay.
Now, in terms of your lifestyle, if you were given the post of MD of NNSL again, what would you do differently?
What will I do differently? Well, I will, first of all, hope and pray that the supervisory ministry, the officials, will not, cause me to bend from the norm. Like I told you, Mrs. Abacha and all this and all that. That was the problem I had. But over the years, my spirit has grayed, grain in years. I have come to understand more of human behavior than when I was young. So certainly, if I was to run NNSL now, it would be a lot different from how it was. Maybe I will not be too ready, no, this cannot be done, but then I'll call you and try to explain this is how we go about it. And where I find that that is not possible, I'll walk away. Instead of sticking to it and thinking I'll change things that led to my Waterloo. So, but of course, with experience and all that, Secondly, I want a better organization. Yes.
So now you're a farmer, or what are you? No, you're fully into politics.
Just politics. I don't have any other profession. I've been trying to come back into maritime.
Yeah.
It's not been easy.
Yeah.
See, I was appointed a special advisor by the governor.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate the effort. I thank you for making out this time to see me.
Thank you very much.